A comparative analysis of Fallout video game series difficulty curve. The Fallout video game series has a long history of pushing the boundaries of role-playing games, and one of the key factors that sets it apart from other franchises is its difficulty curve. But what exactly is a difficulty curve, and how does it impact the player's experience? For those who may not be familiar, the difficulty curve refers to the way in which the game becomes progressively more challenging as it progresses. The original Fallout, released in 1997, is notable for its simple, if not outright brutal, difficulty curve. Players were dropped into a post-apocalyptic world with minimal guidance and were expected to learn through trial and error. This approach had the unintended consequence of making the game feel overwhelmingly difficult, and ultimately led to its relatively short playthrough time. Fast forward to Fallout 3, released in 2008, and we see a significant shift in the series' approach to difficulty. The game's developers, Bethesda, took a more traditional approach to game design, with a more gradual difficulty curve that introduced new enemies and challenges as the player progressed. However, this approach also led to criticism that the game was, at times, too easy. This brings us to Fallout New Vegas, released in 2010. Obsidian Entertainment, the game's developer, took a more nuanced approach to difficulty, allowing players to choose their own level of challenge through the use of difficulty adjusting mods and perks. This added a layer of replayability to the game and allowed players to tailor their experience to their individual skill level. In contrast to the more linear difficulty curves of its predecessors, Fallout 4 introduces a dynamic difficulty system that adjusts the game's challenge based on the player's performance. This means that if the player excels in combat, the game becomes harder, whereas if they struggle, it becomes easier. However, some critics have argued that this approach can lead to an uneven experience, as players are forced to adjust to an ever-changing level of difficulty. The latest installment in the series, Fallout 76, takes a more radical approach, abandoning the traditional single-player experience for a more multiplayer-focused design. This has led to criticisms of the game's difficulty curve, as players are forced to adapt to a constantly shifting environment, where the actions of other players can impact the challenge of the game. As we look back on the series' evolution, it's clear that the difficulty curve has played a significant role in shaping the player's experience. Whether that experience is one of challenge and triumph, or frustration and disappointment, is up to the individual player. As a series that has always pushed the boundaries of what is possible in game design, it will be interesting to see how Fallout continues to shape and adapt its difficulty curve in the coming years.